Cuddles, melon cakes, and guess what? I didn't take another month to post a new video. Yay, good on me. It's only been, what, like 10 days since my last video? Yeah, that's great. So I have put out a poll, I think, a couple days ago or so, asking you guys what video you guys would like to see next, and you guys voted on Shoto Todoroki, which is great considering I was already writing a fanfiction for Shoto Todoroki, which it just played out very well. I also would like to say I have my first person to give a shout out for my little scavenger hunt every time. Thank you to lunar_eclipse. I will put your name on the screen right about now. Thank you. You found my little Easter egg and you've been the first to find and comment on it, so there's your chance for a shout out. If you guys would like to have a chance for a shout out, just look in the description and find my little Easter egg and see if you can do it. If you can, you'll get a shout out if you're the first. Also, I'd like to say I do have a Discord server, so if you would like to join that, there'll also be a link in the description for that. So we're also the, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting my words here. My thumbnail fan art link will also be in the description. This is another story written by myself, so I hope you guys enjoy this, and we're just going to jump right into this one. A couple things first before we start reading the actual, fanfiction. So, your quirk is called Breeze, which means you can control the air around you and use it to make high-pressure air attacks or manipulate the air to carry things such as objects and people. Your backstory is you are an exchange student from America. You are decently fluent in Japanese, but often struggle on words. This causes you to stutter or take a second to think of a word. This often gets worse when you experience intense emotions. Your quirk also tends to activate or deactivate on its own when you have these intense emotions. Your parents also didn't have the money to come with you to Japan, so you had to travel there on your own and to find a place to live. It was a late Friday night in the middle of winter. After you left UA, you decided to go shopping at the store close to the apartment complex you lived in. This rundown apartment complex was the only place you could find, but the landlord didn't care what age his tenants were, so it wasn't a very nice apartment. You needed to buy a few essentials at the store. You were in an aisle looking for paper plates. As you stepped backwards to look up towards where you believed the paper plates were, you accidentally bumped into someone. You began to try to spew apologies. I'm so sorry. Oh, hey, Todoroki. After finally calming down, you were able to see that you bumped into your fellow classmate and friend, Shoto Todoroki. Hey, listener. What are you doing here? Todoroki asked. You didn't want anyone from your class knowing that you lived alone, especially in a shabby apartment complex. Oh, I was just getting some, what is it, essentials. Yes, essentials for my house. We apparently ran out of a few things. You managed to spot her out. Well, maybe I can help you find some of the things you're looking for. If you don't mind, Todoroki offered. That's very nice of you, Todoroki, but I really only need a few things, you said, kindly, picking up the last item you needed from a shelf behind you. I'm checking out now anyway, you said with a smile. Todoroki tagged along with you to the self-checkout as you paid for your items. He grabbed two of the bags and began walking out of the store with you. You had your other bags floating beside you as you used your quirk to carry them. So, do you have a car or do you live close by? I can either take you to your car or walk you home, he said in his usual calm tone. You panicked, not wanting any of your friends to see the condition of where you were living. I don't think that's the best idea. I mean, I do live close, but, my house isn't clean. It wasn't, expecting, company. So I don't I don't think that's a good idea, you said, basically freaking out, your quirk deactivating and dropped your bags that had been floating right beside you. Hey, it's okay, listener, calm down. If I'm being honest, I was just trying to be helpful. We are heroes in training. Just trying to help, but if you don't want me to, he said, sounding a bit defeated. It's not what you meant at all. No. That's not what I meant at all. Well, you took a deep, calming breath and looked up at Todoroki. Well, you see, I live by myself. Nobody in my family could pay to come live here with me, so I had to search for a cheap place so I could pay for myself. So it's a very run-down apartment, and I don't hang out with anyone on weekends because I'm working so I can pay, rent. Yeah, that, you said, now finding that your shoes seemed more interesting than the boy standing in front of you, almost staring down at them with deep concentration. After a few silent seconds, he looked up at Todoroki. He didn't seem surprised, but rather concerned. You could see no judgment in his eyes, no signs that he would laugh or make fun of you. You could have told me, listener. You should know by now that I'm not one to judge, especially you. Is that why you aren't living in the dorms? Because you don't have family here to sign off on it? He asked. Yeah, since I don't have a legal guardian in Japan, no one could sign me off on living in the dorms. You said sadly. Maybe we can rearrange that with Mr. Aizawa. I don't think UA will allow its students to be living on their own like that. Come on, lead the way. Todoroki said as he picked up the rest of your bags and gestured for you to lead the way to your house. You two had a very enjoyable conversation on the way to your apartment. You stopped, slowly and sadly, as you two came to the front of the shabby, run-down apartment complex. This is, my place? Yeah, you said, clearly ashamed of the building that you and Todoroki stood in front of. Todoroki took a look at the building for a moment, then calmly asked, So, which floor and apartment is yours? You were taken aback by his comment. What you were waiting for was a judgment of some form, but you found none. I live on the, second floor. We can, go up a while. You stuttered out, leading Todoroki towards your apartment. When you finally made it to your doorstep, you fumbled with the keys, but eventually got the right one, unlocking your place and opening the door. It was nothing like the rest of the building. Todoroki was surprised to see how homey you made your apartment. You decorated it floor to ceilings, absolutely reflecting your entire personality. He thought it looked really nice. Hey, listener, this is actually a really nice apartment. I promise you have nothing to be ashamed about. It looks great, he said, smiling, absolutely amazed at the sight of your apartment. Thanks. I've tried a lot to make it feel at least bearable to live in. I had to do a lot of improvements and fix a few things, but I got all the work on the place done. The landlord doesn't really care what I do as long as I don't wreck it further, you said, with some pride in your voice. Well, it looks great, listener. Really. Do you have somewhere where we can sit these groceries? Yes. You can just sit them down on the counter by, the microwave. Todoroki sat your groceries on the counter. As he did so, he looked out the small window in your kitchen. Ooh, looks like it's raining really bad out there, he said. You looked your head around from putting things away in your pantry. Wait, seriously? Oh gosh, Todoroki, you can't walk back in the dorms in that, you said. What if you just, spent the night here or something? I can set up the couch. Really nice for you. Todoroki took another glance at the window, watching the rain fall quickly in large, heavy sheets. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, listener. Where do you keep the extra sheets? You helped Todoroki set up the living room area, so you could have a nice place to sleep. After setting everything up, you saw it was still pretty early. Hey, Todoroki, would you want to watch a, You fumbled, searching for the word. Movie? Todoroki said, finishing your sentence. Yeah, movie. Sorry, you said, embarrassed for forgetting the word. It's no problem at all. What kinds of movies do you have? Todoroki asked as he walked over to a shelf with a bunch of movies on DVD. Huh, you have some pretty classic movies here, listener. Some of these I haven't watched since I was a little kid, he mentioned as he scanned through all of the movies. How about we watch this one? He said, pulling one of the movies from the shelf. Ooh, that's my favorite one, he said excitedly. You took the DVD from Todoroki and put the movie into the player. Do you want something to eat before we start the movie? I can make something pretty quick, he said as he rooted through the newly stocked pantry. You don't have to go through the hassle of making anything. I can make cold soba, you interrupted him. Todoroki gave you a look, sort of questioning, sort of intrigued. I mean, if you feel like making it, you can. You laughed at Todoroki's quick shift in mood. Alright, cold soba it is. After making some cold soba for yourself and Todoroki, you guys sat down on the couch and began to watch the movie. About a fourth of the way through, you two finished your soba. Todoroki stood up and took both bowls. I'll take these over to the sink real quick, okay? He asked quietly. Yeah, thanks, Toto, he said groggily. He looked at you wide-eyed at you calling him Toto, but you were fixated on the movie, so you didn't notice. Todoroki put the dishes into the sink and sat back on the couch next to you. At this point, you had started dozing off, trying so hard to keep your eyes open. But fighting sleep seemed to be a losing battle, as your head began to bob off to the side. You eventually gave in, your sleeping head now resting on Todoroki's shoulder. He looked over when he felt the pressure on his shoulder. Hey, listener, are you okay? Oh, you fell asleep, he whispered. He pulled the blankets up higher over you to make sure you were more comfortable. Sleep well, listener, he said as he turned off the TV and pulled a different blanket over himself, making sure that both of you were comfortable for a good night's rest. Thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to this fanfiction reading. Again, please join my Discord, which has a link in the description, along with the thumbnail fan art link. Yeah, this was a lot of fun to write and record, and I hope I can continue to be doing more and more videos. If you guys have any requests, please also link them down in your comments, because I love hearing from you guys and taking requests. So, that's all I have to say. Melon Cakes signing out.